Okay, the recording started. So today's topic will discuss about testing methodology. Some methods are there, some techniques are there. We need to follow those techniques whenever we are doing the testing. So first one is testing methods. Under that, types of testing methods. What are the different types? Then difference between those methods. Then categories of testing. What are the different categories? Then next is testing techniques. What is the definition of techniques? Can you please mute? So many noise is coming. If you are asking something, you can unmute and talk. Okay, next is testing techniques. So here, what is testing technique? The definition. Then testing techniques also classified into multiple categories. What are those? And next is testing technique terminology. Few terminologies are there. First one is testing methods. So basically there are three types of methods available while we are doing the testing. Any kind of software testing we are doing, then three types of method need to follow. One is called as black box testing, second is white box testing, and third one is gray box testing. So if we are not following any methodology, then we cannot deliver the quality product. Using this methodology only, it will be helpful for give the quality product. We cannot miss anything. Okay, so what is black box testing, what is white box, and what is gray box? Black means one color is there, white another color is there. If you are combining black plus white both color, then it will display as a gray color. So that gray box testing also combination of black box testing and white box testing. That's why the name they have given as gray box. So what are those? First one is black box testing. In this black box testing, the techniques of testing without having any knowledge of interior workings of the application is called black box testing. So here coding knowledge is not required. No Java, no C, C++, SQL, nothing, nothing. Just as a means a black room or dark room, you are available and you are doing some testing. You don't have any knowledge. Very simple things only you are going to check how it looks like, then how the flow is there, in which position what is present. That's only coding knowledge not at all required. So those type of testing, if it is performing, then that is called as a black box testing. These testers obviously to the system architecture and does not have access to the source code. You don't have any access to the code also, source code, how the codes are working, how it is connecting, where it is present, nothing. Typically, while performing a black box test, a tester will interact with the system's user interface. So user interface only means UI part, application, how it looks like. In that only the checkbox, radio button, then text box, then text whatever it is present, bold, italic, color combinations, position, indentation, formatting, those things only you can check. Anybody can do that. So you cannot face any challenges in that. Anybody can do those type of testing. Okay, then this black box testing is called as some other name also. We can tell it as a dark box, closed box, opaque box, functional testing, behavioral testing, any name we can tell. So all are having same meaning only. All these are coming under black box testing. Next is this type of testing is done by a tester. So which tester they are doing? Suppose I am doing, you are doing, another person is doing. So those testers or those persons will be called as a black box test engineer. If you are doing the testing without having any coding knowledge, all those flow you are checking, then you will be called as black box test engineer. So what are the examples here? Unit testing, except that unit testing means that is purely code related. So except the code related, if you are checking any other kind of testing, then those are called as a black box testing. So the examples will come sanity or system testing, ad hoc testing, exploratory testing. So many testing will come here under this black box testing. Unit testing will not part of this because in unit testing coding is required. So developer people can do that. Otherwise, the testers who are using the codes also and they are checking, then we can tell that as a white box testing. So under white box testing, unit testing is coming, and under black box testing, unit testing is not coming. Except unit testing, any other kinds of testing are there, and that is called as a black box. Next one is white box testing. Okay, so what is white box testing? The opposite of black box is the white box. Here coding knowledge is required. You have to test with some code also, Java or .NET, C, C++, B, C++, which is using in the project which you are working. Using that code also you can test. So if coding knowledge is required and coding part you are checking, programming part you are checking, then that is called as a white box testing. So testers are basically not involved in coding related activity. Developer people only involved in that coding related activity. If you are having very good knowledge in the programming part, then you can also involve. It is not necessary or not compulsory that totally not at all you can involve. You can also involve as per your interest if you are having those kind of knowledge. Okay, so testers are not taking interest to learn the coding part. That's why they are not involving basically. In order to perform white box testing on the application, tester needs to know some internal working of the code. So how the codes are flowing from starting to ending via media, then what are the naming conventions, syntax, then a lot of things are there in the code. Any programming language you can take C or Java or anything. So all those knowledge are required. Without those knowledge, it is not possible to work. The tester needs to have a look inside the source code and find out which unit chunk of the code is behaving inappropriately. So you have to enter inside the code and where is the problem need to find out if you are working in white box testing and you are having the knowledge of code. This type of testing is done by developers. So basically testers don't like this coding part. That's why developer only doing this coding part. They are developing the software project application and they are only checking the coding part, which is correct, which is incorrect, which is not working. They are only doing that. So under this white box testing, code part which you are checking, that is called as a unit testing. The name is unit testing. So this unit testing is coming under white box testing. Except this unit testing, everything which are checking without related to any code, those are called as black box testing. So here only one example, that is unit testing. The alternative names for white box testing are clear box, we can tell, glass box, structural, code based, any name you can tell. So white box testing can be called as all these different names also. Any name is fine. Next is gray box testing. So this gray box testing is the combination of black box and white box testing. Like combination of two colors, black and white, will looks like gray color. Same thing here. So the name they have given as gray box testing. So somebody is working without coding knowledge also few projects he is working, and with coding knowledge also few projects he is working. Coding plus coding part plus non-coding part, both you are working. Then it can be called as gray box testing, or you can be called as a gray box test engineer. White box testing who are doing, those persons will be called as a white box test engineer. Like that it is categorized. Okay, so here two types of requirement you have to test, coding related also, without coding related also. Next few differences are there in this black box testing, gray box testing and white box testing. So gray box testing you will not get in interview questions, but you will get one question. What are the difference between black box and white box? Compulsory you will get one question. If experience is less, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, this question also you will get. Okay, so one difference is the internal working of an application need not to be known. So internal working, so internally how it is working. If you want to understand more and more in depth internally how it is happening, then coding is coming to the picture. So that is not required if it is in black box testing. Then white box testing, coding is required. Tester has full knowledge of the internal workings. Internally how it is working, then coding is coming to the picture. So coding should be required here. Then only it can be understandable. So internal knowledge or internal working flow of the application internally, not externally. Externally we are able to see, click that, then after clicking it is going to next page, then click on OK button, then press on some other submit button. Those are very easy. Externally we are able to see, but internally once click, then what is happening in the code, those part not required for tester. If you want all those also, you are able to understand the working, you will be called as a white box test engineer. So that is one difference. Internal knowledge of the applications is not required for black box, and white box it is required. If both you know, internal external both you know, and you are able to perform, then that will be called as a gray box testing. Mixing is gray box. Next, also known as close box. So these are few different names. Black box testing is also called as, or different alternative names of black box testing is closed box, data driven testing, functional testing, any name you can tell, behavioral testing. The different names of white box is clear box, structural testing, code based testing. These are alternative names. Second difference. Third difference is performed by end user and also by testers and developers. So this black box testing, nothing is there, anybody can do that. Here no coding knowledge, nothing. So tester can do, developer can do, some other person also they can do. Then end user. Suppose you are working in one company, IBM, and your project is Vodafone client. So from Vodafone, some end user will be there. They are also doing one round of testing before going to release. They can also test. And who will be engaged in that user side or end user? They are also not having any technical knowledge because they are client and they are just investing or they are guiding. So we cannot expect the technical knowledge from them. They can also do the test black box because coding knowledge is not required. So it can be done by end user. They are also able to perform tester, developer, anybody can do that. Coming to white box testing, only developer can do. Otherwise, who know the knowledge of coding part, they can only do. Okay, so white box testing, if you are telling, then in some project they are recruiting the testers having coding knowledge.
ఒకమైన చూడండి సార్ ఎవరైనా బిల్లింగ్ కుదిరితే మీరు చెప్పినట్టు
మాకు కూడా అసలు ఎంత లేవు, లేకపోతే నేను ఏది ఒక్క నెలలు ఇచ్చే 15 రోజుల్లో ఇచ్చేస్తాము.
Can you please mute, some noise is coming. Okay. Next is testing is based on external expectation. Internal behavior of the application is unknown. So black box testing, if you are doing that internally how it is behaving, we are not aware about that. But externally how it is doing, we are able to know. And we should know that. But coming to white box testing, internal plus external, both required. Next, it is exhaustive and the least time consuming. Only okay, it is exhaustive and the least time consuming. Okay, so internal part we are not checking, only external part we are checking. Mean how it looks like external activity, functionality, those things only. So obviously it will take less time. If not required, please unmute, it is disturbing to all. Okay, so internal part we are not checking, only external part we are checking. That's why it will be taking less time. And white box testing, we have to check both external as well as internal things, all the behavior, activity, flow, features. That's why obviously it will take more time. Okay, so here algorithm, flowchart, all those things are not required in black box testing. Whenever coding is doing, then only need to understand the logic, algorithm, then data flow diagram, then flowchart. All those things will come under white box testing if it is a coding part. So first understand all those activities, then we can go for the testing. Next, under black box testing, this can only be done by trial and error method. So we can give some wrong input so that we can get error. Different input we can give, how it is happening. So to get some error also, we can give different input in the functionality. That is possible in this black box testing. But coming to white box testing, if we don't have the knowledge of coding part, then we cannot change the code inside. It can crash unknowingly if you are changing something. So we cannot do that. White box testing who are doing, they know, so they can change the code inside and again they can check error is coming or not, what type of error is coming. So these are few difference between black box testing and white box testing. Next is categories of testing. So broadly testing, if you are telling, or software testing, it is categorized into two parts. Overall testing is categorized into two parts. One is static testing and another is the dynamic testing. So what is static testing? Which are fixed already. Dynamics means changeable. Today one thing is there, tomorrow you can get another thing. Or after 5 6 hours you can get another thing. So the features or flow or functionality or any component, anything, we can get it a changeable way. Different timeline wise it will be changed. But in static it will not change, it will be fixed. So what are coming under the static testing? In previous one session, we discussed already review, inspection, walkthrough. All those are coming under static testing. Those will be not changed. Walkthrough, just we have to walk through, revise. Whatever the test cases or documents are prepared, one senior persons will walk through that. Or you can explain by going through. That is called as walkthrough. So that is a process, it will not change. Reviews, you have written one thing, another person is checking that same document. That is called as a review. So this is also one process. It will not change, fixed. Inspection, some audit will happen, somebody will be guide, team leader, manager, they will do some inspection. That is also one process, it will not change. All these are coming under verification. So verification is under static testing, validation is under dynamic testing, that already covered. So walkthrough, reviews, inspection are one example of static testing. And any kind of testing name we can take: smoke or regression systems, then sanity, then positive, negative, functionality, all those are coming under dynamic testing. Here actual testing will happen, and the documentation related will not happen here. Documentation related in static testing, which are fixed, and actual execution which are happening, those are called as dynamic testing. Okay, next is testing techniques. So whenever we will do the testing, some techniques need to be used. What are those techniques? Okay, so techniques, if you are telling, what is technique? Technique is an efficient way of doing or archiving something. So what process we are using? Whenever we are suppose traveling from Hyderabad to Bangalore, so what process we are using? Maybe we can go by flight with some friend. We can stay there in a means a hotel or somewhere, and we can appear some exam, and again we will come back. These are the process we are following. So what techniques we are doing? By which vehicle we are going? So all those things we need to plan. Those are the techniques. So here, if we are doing some testing, also some techniques are there. The way how we will do the test, that is nothing but the technique. So test design technique is used to select a good set of tests from all the possible tests for a given system. So we have to follow some approach, so that we can cover everything, we cannot miss anything. All type of scenario we can be covered. To satisfy those conditions, we have to follow some approach, or those approach are called as techniques. So few techniques are available here in black box testing, few techniques are available for the white box testing. Okay. Okay, testing technique classification. So basically testing is two types: under testing, static testing, dynamic testing. Under static testing, review and verification is there. Under dynamic testing, black box testing, white box testing. Okay, so if we will categorize under dynamic testing, one will come as black box, another will come as white box. So black box and white box both are containing with three techniques. Black box testing is having three techniques. Here these are available. One is boundary value analysis, second is equivalence partition, third is error guessing. So these three techniques are coming under black box testing. Similarly, three more techniques are available under white box testing also, which will be done by a developer or testers are doing also, that is fine, having coding knowledge. One is statement coverage, next is condition coverage, third one is path coverage. So three techniques are present under black box, three techniques are present under white box. Now what are those? Okay, next black box testing. So under this black box testing, these are three techniques. One is boundary value analysis, another is equivalence partition, and another is error guessing. These are three techniques used in this black box testing. So basically all those will be applicable for text box related test. If you are doing, it will be applicable. So text box, if you will take one example here, this is one text box. Suppose this text box can take the characters 10 to 40, suppose username or password, anything. Okay, so this is one text box. It can take from 8 character to 20 or 30 or 40 something you can take in this text box. That is a username, suppose. So how we can do this boundary value analysis, how we can do this equivalence partition, and how we can do this error guessing. So boundary value analysis means what will happen, boundary part need to check. Okay, one. Okay, so where is the boundary here? This is one boundary and this is one boundary. Left side and right side, if it is a text box. So left side boundary is called as a left boundary, right side boundary is called as a right boundary. So in this boundary value analysis, both the boundary we have to check, left side plus right side. Suppose this is for 8 to 40 characters. So 8 will be the starting point, the length, and 40 will be the ending point, the length. Okay, so if 8 we are checking this length, then here you can just see 1 minus means 8 minus 1, 7 length, one username we have to check. Then exactly that length means 8, one length username we can check, and another will be 8 plus 1, 9. So three types of length we can check here in this left boundary. Minimum 8 is the minimum length of the characters for username, and maximum is 40. So we are considering first left boundary. So in left boundary, what to check? 8 is the minimum. Then exactly 8. 8 minus 1, 7 length character. 8 plus 1, 9. These three input we have to check. So 8 plus 1 is 9. It should work. 8 also it should work. 8 minus 1, 7. It should throw some error message. The length is not matching or something. It should throw. That is left boundary value analysis. Now come to right side. The maximum limit of the length it can take 40. So 40 is the boundary point. So there are also three things need to check. One is exactly 40 length of username we have to give, and another is 40 minus 1 means 39, and another is 40 plus 1, 41. So 39, 40, and 41. Three types of length we have to verify here in this text box. So which will work, which will not work? 39 and 40 should work, and which is the extra one, 40 plus 1, 41, that it should not work. It will throw error. Maximum length is 40 and it is exceeding to the maximum length. Please enter valid username. It will show those type of message. So if this type of testing we are doing, then this is called as a boundary value analysis. So mostly it is working in the text box related testing. Any username, password, any other type of information is there as some text box, course name, duration, all those things. Text box is coming to the picture means boundary value analysis you have to do. And next is equivalence partition also you have to do. Next is error guessing. Okay, second one is equivalence partition. So what is equivalence partition? This length we can equally distribute it into some parts. Suppose 5 parts we can divide. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts are divided, equally distributed. So 40 is total length, 10, 10, 10, 10 length we can take. 1 to 10 range we can check as one part. Then 11 to 20 in one part we can check. 21 to 30 in one part, 31 to 40 one part. So few input we can take. Suppose 31 to 40 length, then 31 length one username we can take, another we can take 34, another 37, like that 3 4 randomly we have to take. It is not like that everything we have to check. Everything means if it is a range of 5000, then it will take so much time. Days by days it will proceed, and at the end we will get the same thing only. So no need to time waste on those things. Just distributed equally into 2 parts, 4 parts, 10 parts, or 20 parts, and from each part which are equally distributed, just randomly 2 3 4 inputs we can check. That's all. So from this part also 21 to 30 length is there. We can check length of 23, then 26, like that we can check. And if it is working fine, then we can close that. If something is not working, length 22 is not working, or length 27, then need to raise the bug. Similarly, in this range, 11 to 20, 2 3 randomly you can take and check. In this range also, 1 to 10. So this is equivalently distributed. That's why it is called as a equivalence partition, this type of checking. And next is error guessing. So we have to guess something. We have to think some input and give, so that it will come with some error. What to give? Suppose we can give uh, below 8 length character, 6 character length we can give. It will come error. And which are greater than 40, that type of we can give one length for username, 50 or 75 or something, we can get error. Alphanumeric is mentioned, we are giving only numeric, we will get the error. So which can give some error, that we have to check here. We are guessing, we are thinking that it is expected some error should come. So if error is not coming, then that is a bug you can raise. So error should come here. So these are the 3 techniques used for this text box related testing. This is called as black box testing techniques implementing for text box. Now next is white box testing. Any doubt till now from anybody? Easy only, all these are concepts, nothing else. Software testing concepts only. Using these concepts you can do manual testing or you can do automation testing. These are the common part testing concepts only. Okay, next is white box testing technique. In white box also 3 types of techniques are available: statement line coverage, branch condition decision coverage, another is path or loop coverage. So this is related to coding. You will not work in that because you are not going with the coding related testing. But for the interview, you should know what is white box testing, what are the different techniques, can you explain with some example. That's all for the interview purpose. But practically, if you are joining in any company, you will not involve in these type of testing techniques. These will be done by a developer or the tester who are interested to work with some code knowledge. They can only involve in this part. So first one is statement coverage. What is this statement coverage? Statement means lines. So it is also called as a line coverage. So here code will be checked, not functionality externally. Internally, code will be checked. Line by line, whatever the codes are written, line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, each and every line with all this statement will be checked here. So in this statement coverage, if then else is coming. If you heard about any language C++, Java, if then else, for loop, while loops are there, maybe you heard about that. So if then else, that will be coming here under the statement coverage. So some conditions will be there, some statements. If it is satisfying, then it will display this message. If it is not satisfying, then it will display another message like that. That is statement or line coverage. Another is branch coverage, condition coverage, or decision coverage. Okay, so in this branch coverage or condition, here you will check the condition. In statement also it can be written in one line, if then else is there, then we can tell that as a condition. But coming to the statement and branch, maybe you will get confused. So actual if then else, that can be one mentioned in one block. That will be not in single line. Line by line, single line, then that is called as a statement coverage. So altogether 5 lines is one if then else condition, then that will be called as a condition coverage. If then else, it will if then, if this condition is satisfying, it will display one message. Else if another condition, it will display that message. Else if another conditions, like that 5 or 10, if then will be there, at the end else part will be there. So all together it will be one block, means 5 lines or 10 lines or 20 lines of code. So those block together, we are checking some condition. Since conditions are checking here, that's why it is called as a conditional statement coverage. And another one is statement line only. So here only one line. We will not correlate with second line to third line to fourth line. The relation will not come here. Individually, every line need to be tested. Maybe display the message that is in one line, then go to fourth line. So those type of lines of code only it will be checked here. First one, and third one is the path coverage or loop coverage. While loop, for loop, those will come here. Any looping condition is there and you are checking, then that is called as a path coverage or loop coverage. So in this way, three techniques are available in white box also. In black box, three techniques; in white box, three techniques. So this is compulsory question you will get. Can you explain about black box and white box techniques? Okay, so under this white box testing, first is unit testing, second is integration testing. So if small components are combined together, 2, 3, 4, 5 components or modules we can say. So in that case, the name will be called as integration, integrated happen. So those integrated modules also developer people can check that with the coding related. So in that case, it can be called as a integration testing, and only the single component is checking with the coding part, then that is called as a unit testing. Under this unit testing, developer people are doing execution testing. While executing the program, they are checking how it is operating, that is checking, and mutation also they are doing. So what is that mutation? Some part they will delete from the code, some part they will add, so what it is behaving. So all these three types of testing are coming under unit testing, which are done by developer. And integration testing also done by a developer. They will follow top to bottom approach. So their codes, suppose 100 lines of codes are there, from starting to ending, line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, up to 100 lines. That can be one check. And another is bottom to up. From 100 line they will start checking line number last, second last, third last. So 100 line number 99, 98, 97, like that it will come. That is called as a bottom up approach. And another is hybrid approach. So randomly they will check top to bottom, bottom to up, top to bottom to up, like that combinedly they will check. That is called as a hybrid approach. Okay, so under this execution testing only, these are the three techniques they are following: statement, branch coverage, and path coverage. Okay, next is testing technique terminologies. So here two terminologies are there. One is error seeding and another is the cyclomatic complexity. So this is not required for you. You will not involved in that, but you should know the concept, what exactly this is. In interview, maybe you will get what is error seeding, what is cyclomatic complexity. So what is error seeding? Error seeding means developer people will add some code. Intentionally, they will write some code, some extra thing, so that it will come with some error while we are executing. They have to do that. If that scenario is coming, that is called as error seeding. So they can delete some code, or they can add some code, or they can modify some code, whatever it may be. But after doing that, we will get some error. So that is called as error seeding. Developer people are doing that checking. Next is cyclomatic complexity. So this is also done by a developer. This is one technique used in 1976. It started. Thomas J. McCabe, he invented this. So what is this? Whenever we are going for any testing, we will not do, developer people involved in that. They are for loop, if then else. So how many conditions are there? All conditions they checked or not, any conditions missed or not. To identify all those things, they can go for the cyclomatic complexity formula. Okay, so here you can see one is sequence, line by line. Another is if then else, multiple conditions will be there. Another is while loop, looping, until one loop, for loop. So these are different way they are writing the program. So here the nodes will come, one condition, one node. Under that again two conditions are splitted, again two nodes will come. So this node will be these ones, the condition part, and the edge will be means how it is connecting in different paths. So this first node is splitted into again two nodes. So here the path is called as edge, and the condition is called as nodes. So nodes is denoted by N, age is denoted by E, and one formula is there for the cyclomatic complexity, E minus N plus P. So E is number of edges. How many edges are there? N is number of nodes. How many nodes are there? How many conditions are there? Then P is number of nodes that have the exit points. So how many exit points are there? That is P. So what is the cyclomatic complexity? This is the formula, E minus N plus P. Suppose 8 edges are there, 6 nodes are there, 8 minus 6 is 2 plus 1 entry exit point is there, plus 1, 2 plus 3. So if the result is coming more than 5, then they can define that this is a complex one. If below 5 it is coming this result after applying the formula, then that is a easy one. They can consider in that way. So the result is coming more, 8, 10, 15, then they can consider, oh, this application is very complex. This project is very complex. If the result is coming 2, 3, 4 only, they can consider, okay, this is very simple one. So using the cyclomatic complexity, they can consider what is the complexity of that requirement. They can analyze that. Okay, so for you in interview, they can ask what is cyclomatic complexity, what is the formula, can you explain? That's all. You will not involve in any practical things. Developer people will involve in that. So this is one example here. So this is one flowchart, begin. So begin is one node. After that, it is coming with some input value A and B. This is one node. Then checking some condition that A is less than equal to 3 or not. This is condition checking. This is one node. Then if that is correct, it will come here. If that is not correct, it will go here. That is splitted. So this one node is again splitted into two nodes here. Then these are taking with some decision, B equal to B minus 2, here B equal to B minus 2, it is meeting or not, again it is coming here, this condition is checking. So in this way their code has been written, so one by one line it is going with multiple parts. So this is one node, this is one node, this is one node, this is one node, and at the end it is closing. So this is the exit point. So how many nodes are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Total 10 nodes are there. So n equal to 10 here. This one, n equal to 10. Now how many edges are there? This type of graph you will get in the interview or some written test. So you have to calculate how many nodes are there, how many edges are there, how many exit points are there. Based on that, you can calculate this and tell that answer. That's all for you. So how many nodes are, sorry, how many edges are there? Here one connection, 1. Here it is connecting 1, 2. This is connecting 3. This is connecting 4. Then again this is connecting 5, 6, then 7, 8, then 9, 10, 11. 11 paths are there. So age is 11. Now entry exit point, how many are there? Entry is 1, begin, starting point. Exit is 1, ending point, exit point. 2 are there. So that is 2. Entry exit point, how many are there? Now the formula you can make, age minus node plus P, entry exit count. 11 minus 10 plus 2. So the result is coming as 3. 3 means it will be easy. So this is a very simple project they can consider. So this is the idea of the cyclomatic complexity.